I've been thinking about you, and it scares me a little how good you are at pretending you're fine. Yeah, I know that's a bold thing to say. I hope this is okay to say, but I can feel it sometimes, how you hold yourself together so neatly, even when you're tired, even when something inside you is quietly asking for a place to set the weight down. So before we do anything else, just take one slow breath with me. Not the kind you force, the kind you allow, and when you exhale, let your shoulders drop a fraction. Like you don't have to keep proving you're strong in this moment because you're here. And I think there's something sacred about here. Not dramatic, not flashy, just real. A lot of people live in later. Later when things calm down. Later when the house is finally quiet. Later when the doctor calls back. Later when the kids stop needing so much. Later when the heart stops aching. But life, it keeps happening in the meantime. And I don't know if anyone has told you this gently enough lately. So let me try. You don't have to postpone your life until it becomes easier to live. I'm not saying you ignore problems. I'm not saying you paste a smile over something that hurts. I'm just saying don't hand your whole today away as collateral for a future that isn't guaranteed to feel perfect. Because perfection is a moving target, isn't it? And you, sweet steady, you have probably been waiting for perfect longer than you should have had to. So, can I offer something simple? Try this with me. Pause. Notice name. Pause long enough to interrupt the swirl. Not forever, just a breath. Notice one small thing that's real and good and present. A glass of water, the warmth in your hands, the way light lands on a wall, a quiet moment where nothing is asking you to perform. Then name it out loud if you can. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for getting me through another day. Thank you for the strength I didn't even realize I had. And if faith is part of your life, you can hand that thank you to God. If faith is part of your life, you can hand that thank you to God like it's a small offering you set down gently. Not a sermon, not a speech, just honesty. I think God hears honesty faster than perfect words, and I think He meets people now. Not someday when they finally cleaned up the mess. Not someday when they feel more deserving, now when they're still tired, still uncertain, still learning how to breathe again. If anxiety spikes, if it does that thing where it grabs your throat and tells you the future is about to fall apart, put a hand over your heart for a second. Not because you're weak, because you're human. And say softly, I'm not alone. You may have to say it again in 10 minutes. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're practicing. It means you're staying in relationship with God, with your own nervous system, with the part of you that needs gentleness. And I want to say this too, because you might need it. Speed isn't the same as significance. The world worships hurry, but love doesn't rush you. I've noticed something about you especially. You've carried so much for so long that rest can feel suspicious. Like if you stop moving, something might catch up to you. But rest isn't surrendering your life to chaos. Sometimes rest is the bravest way to say, I trust God with what I can't control. I trust life to hold me for 5 minutes. I trust myself to soften without falling apart. So here's a small agreement just for today. We won't postpone joy until every problem is solved. We won't postpone love until every wound is healed. We won't postpone peace until every answer arrives. We'll just show up for what's real. The smallest faithful step, the kind word you can still give, the gratitude you can still choose. I think those little things are not small in the way heaven measures a life. And I don't know, I just feel like you needed to hear that without being lectured, without someone trying to fix you, because I'm not here to fix you. I'm just here quietly saying, I see you and I'm glad you're here. Okay, before we go on, can I ask you something gently? If this is landing anywhere in your heart, leave me a comment with one small thing you're choosing to be present for today. It can be simple, even just I'm here. Joy and peace under the waves. If you left that little comment, even just I'm here, I want you to know I read that as courage. Because showing up for your own life in a world that keeps pulling you into panic, that's not nothing. And now, can we go a little deeper? I want to talk about joy and peace. Not the thin kind that disappears the second the phone rings. Not the kind you have to fake so other people feel comfortable. I mean the deep kind, the kind that lives under the waves. You can have a rough day on the surface and still feel something steady underneath, a current that holds you up. I think God offers that kind of joy, a joy that can sit beside sorrow without denying it, a peace that doesn't come from tighter control, but from trusted surrender. Because happiness can be a visitor. It comes, it goes. It depends on the weather, the news, the text you didn't get back. But joy can become a resident. It moves in quietly. It sits at the table with you, even when you're tired. And peace does something even more tender. It loosens that old grip. The one that says, everything depends on me, my dear. Handing outcomes to God isn't giving up. It's giving over what was never yours to carry alone. And I know that's hard for someone like you because you've been the one who remembers everything, the one who holds everybody together, the one who stays strong even when nobody asks if you're okay. So how do we cultivate this kind of joy and peace without pretending life is perfect? I think of it like a garden. You don't force a garden to bloom by yelling at it. You don't get fruit by shaming the soil. You plant, you water, you pull weeds gently, consistently, and you give it time. So plant gratitude. Plant gratitude, not as a performance, as a practice. Small acknowledgments of goodness repeated often. A warm cup in your hands. A quiet 5 minutes. A song that steadies you. The fact that you made it through things you once thought would break you. Then water it with honest prayer. Not fancy prayer, not the right words, just truth. God, I feel tired. God, I feel afraid. God, I miss who I used to be. God, help me come back to myself and pull the weeds of comparison softly but firmly, because measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel, it's a fast road to despair. You don't deserve that kind of cruelty, not from the world and definitely not from yourself. And can I say something that might sound simple, but I really mean it? Bring laughter back to your table, not as disrespect to pain, but as a reminder to pain. You don't get the final word. Sometimes laughter is the smallest rebellion against darkness. Now, practically, here's something I do around hard conversations. Before I speak, I whisper almost under my breath, God, steady my heart. During the moment, I try to leave room for silence, because silence is where I can hear what's real and where I can feel that nudge that says, be gentle, don't rush, don't defend, just be honest. And afterward, I release what isn't mine to fix. That part takes practice, because the old instinct is to replay it, right? To rewrite the conversation in your mind, to carry it around like a file folder you never asked for. But peace asks for something else. You did your part. Now let God do his. And my beloved, if it helps, you can make this confession morning and night. Joy is here. Peace is here. God is here. You're not manufacturing a mood. You're remembering a reality. And then let joy and peace travel with you into the unsolved places, into the unfinished, into the unhealed. Invite joy to stand next to the unanswered email, the complicated relationship, the tender memory you still don't know what to do with. You'll notice something shift. You won't be forced to rush past sorrow, but you'll carry hope within it. Bring peace into the moments that usually spike your pulse. The traffic, the delay, the unexpected critique, the silence from someone you love. Breathe. Name God's nearness. Choose a response aligned with who you're becoming, not with the panic of the moment. And please hear me. This isn't God asking you to paint a smile over a wound. It's Him offering a kind of calm that can reach the wound's depth, not denial. A larger reality. His presence with you, His care for you, His wisdom guiding you forward, often quietly. So maybe write this where your eyes can find it when you forget. Joy is strength. Peace is clarity. God is near. And watch how your inner climate shifts. Your face softens. Your steps get steadier. Even the people around you feel the weather change when you walk into a room, because that's what a heart kept by God starts to feel like. Clear, calm, carried. And I think this is where we need to go next. Gently. Because some of that peace you're craving, it's tied to healing. Not the kind that rushes you, the kind that stays with you. Healing that doesn't shame you, okay? Come a little closer with me, because the next thing I want to say, it matters. Some of you are carrying pain that's older than your passwords. And some of you met it this morning like it just walked into the room and sat down beside you. And I hope this is okay to say, but I don't think God is embarrassed by your tears. I don't think He's impatient with your numbness. And I don't think He's offended by the questions you whisper at 2 a.m. I think He meets you there. Not with a lecture, not with that just get over it energy, just presence. Can I tell you something? I've been holding inside. Healing with God rarely erases. It redeems. Like you don't become someone who never hurt. You become someone who knows how to be held while you hurt, and there's a difference. There's this old Japanese art kintsugi. They mend broken pottery with gold. They don't hide the crack. They honor it. And somehow the piece becomes even more beautiful than before. I think your life can be like that. Not because what happened was good, not because pain is romantic, but because God is a master at bringing light into places the world only calls ruined. So let's start where real healing starts. Not with pressure, with permission. You're allowed to feel what you feel. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to need time. You're allowed to say that hurt me without apologizing for it. Bodies and souls don't mend on command. They mend in safety. And I think the safest place is being fully seen and still loved. Then comes truth. What happened matters. What you live through matters. Your experience is real. God doesn't gaslight his people. He doesn't tell you to pretend it wasn't painful. He meets you in reality because reality is where grace can actually touch you. And then there's this tender step I call exchange. It's where you notice the lie that glued itself to your wound. Maybe it was, I'm too much. I'm not enough. I should have known better. I'm on my own. I'm unlovable now. My dear, those are not your identity. Those are bruises talking. So you place that lie in God's hands quietly and you ask for a better word, not a pipeline, a true word. You are beloved. You are a gift. You are accompanied. You are still worthy of gentle love. And if you can't believe it yet, that's okay. Just let it be said over you for a while. Let it sit near you like a lamp in the corner. Then comes practice, because healing isn't a single moment where you finally get over it. Healing is a sequence, a slow return. It can look like noticing you can take a deep breath without that tightness showing up. It can sound like your own laughter surprising you again. It can feel like remembering a hard memory and realizing the sting is duller than last time. Celebrate those small mercies. I think heaven calls them big. And somewhere along the way, forgiveness often knocks. Let me say this gently. Forgiveness is not excusing harm. It's not forgetting wisdom. It's not inviting the same wound back into your life. Forgiveness is release. It's you deciding you won't carry a case file through the years like it's your job to be the judge, jury, in jail. Sometimes forgiveness is one sentence you repeat 100 times. God, I hand this to you. And you might have to hand it over again tomorrow. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're letting go like a human being lets go slowly. And please take the help God sends in the natural. A wise counselor, a trustworthy friend, a doctor, a better rhythm, a walk in the morning air, a boundary you've been scared to set. Grace loves to use means. God is not offended by your need for support. You don't have to heal alone, and you don't need to be done healing to be valuable. I feel you need to hear this one. You are loved in process, cast on crutches, shaky steps and all. God's kindness doesn't wait at the finish line. It walks the hallway with you. And here's the hope that keeps me steady when I get quiet. None of your story is wasted, not one chapter. The valley you walked becomes a road you'll know how to guide someone else along. Pain doesn't become your identity, but it can become part of your testimony. In God's hands, what hurt you can become part of what heals you. So, if there's a tender place in you right now, put a hand there gently, like you're blessing a bruised part of yourself, and whisper this with me. I am held. I am heard. I am being made whole. Okay, in the next part, I want to talk about doors. The ones that open, the ones that close, and how to know you're not being punished, you're being protected. Doors, timing, and the holy pace. Alright, let me say this softly because I know how it can land. Sometimes the thing that breaks your heart is also the thing that saves you. A door closes, a relationship ends, a plan collapses, a yes turns into a no. And if you're honest, your first thought might be, God, why? I've asked that question too. And I don't want to insult your intelligence with easy answers, but I do want to offer you a gentler way to read your life, especially when timing feels cruel. Because not every closed door is rejection. Sometimes it's protection, sometimes it's redirection, sometimes it's mercy wearing a disguise. I think God is less interested in rushing you into something impressive and more interested in walking you into something safe, something that doesn't shred your nervous system, something that doesn't cost you your peace. So, how do you tell the difference between a door you should knock on again and a door you're meant to leave alone? I don't know if this makes sense, but I think the right door does something specific. It might still stretch you. Yes, it might still ask you to be brave, but it doesn't humiliate you. It doesn't diminish you. A healthy door opens with dignity, even if it opens slowly. And sometimes the door that's meant for you looks quiet, not dramatic, not like fireworks. It looks like peace returning to your body when you walk toward it. So here are 3 questions, simple but honest. 1, does this lead me closer to peace or deeper into panic? Not will it be hard. Hard can be good. I mean, does it consistently pull you into the kind of anxiety that steals your sleep, makes you feel small, makes you beg for crumbs? God's invitations can be challenging, yes, but His presence is not chaotic. 2, do I feel more like myself here or less? Some places require you to shrink, to perform, to edit your personality into something acceptable. But love, real love, doesn't make you disappear. It makes you, more honest, more whole, more unafraid to exhale. 3. Is this door asking me to grow or asking me to betray myself? Growth might ask you to speak up, to set boundaries, to forgive, to risk again. Betrayal asks you to ignore your instincts, silence your needs, and call it strength. My dear, you've done enough self-betrayal for one lifetime. Now, timing. Timing is the part that can make a good person feel punished because you can do everything right and still see delays, still see detours, still see waiting. Let me say this gently. Waiting is not always wasted time. Sometimes waiting is God building your foundation while you think nothing is happening. Because a blessing that arrives before you're ready can become a burden. And God, I think He's kinder than that. He doesn't just care about what you get. He cares about what it does to you when you get it. So if you're in a season where you keep hearing, "not yet," it doesn't mean you're forgotten. It might mean you're being formed, protected from a version of yes that would have cost you too much. And I know that's hard to trust when you're lonely. When you look around and everyone else seems to have their person, their tribe, their place. But listen, you don't need to compete your way into a life. You don't need to chase love like it's running from you. The kind of love God writes into your story, it finds you in the honest places. It doesn't require you to abandon yourself. So here's what I want you to practice in this season. Walk at a holy pace, not rushed, not frozen, just steady. One faithful step today. A boundary you keep, a conversation you finally have, a prayer you speak without dressing it up. And when you hit a closed door, don't immediately label it as failure. Pause, breathe, ask, God, are you protecting me? God, are you redirecting me? God, is this timing mercy? And then listen quietly. Sometimes the answer comes as clarity. Sometimes it comes as your body relaxing when you stop forcing the wrong thing. Sometimes it comes as a new door opening that feels strangely gentle, like you can walk through it without losing your dignity. And please, this is important. If something is making you beg to be chosen, that's not your door. You don't have to audition for love. You don't have to prove you're easy enough, young enough, quiet enough, strong enough. You are already worthy of tenderness, already worthy of a love that doesn't play games with your heart. So if you're at a crossroads right now, I hope you'll choose the path that keeps you whole. Even if it's slower, even if it's quieter, God is not in a hurry with you. He's not trying to use you up. He's trying to keep you. And I think He's been keeping you longer than you realize. Okay, next part. I want to bring this into the ordinary hours, morning, midday, evening, because that's where a steady life is actually built. Walking with God in ordinary hours. Yeah, this is the part I love, honestly, because most of life isn't the big cinematic moments. It's not the wedding day. It's not the breakthrough phone call. It's not the dramatic turning point. Most of life is Tuesday. It's making coffee, it's folding laundry, it's driving somewhere you've driven 100 times. Most of life is standing in a kitchen, staring at a sink, trying to remember what you walked in there for. And I think God lives there. Not just in church, not just in spiritual moments, in the ordinary, in the quiet, in the small choices you make when nobody's applauding you. So if you want a life that feels steadier, if you want joy and peace to become residence in you, I think it helps to build a gentle rhythm. Nothing intense, nothing that turns faith into another performance. Just a rhythm that returns you to God and returns you to yourself. Morning, let me start held. When you wake up, before you scroll, before you mentally rehearse everything you need to do, before your mind starts trying to control the day, take 1 minute, just one. Put your feet on the floor and say something simple like, God, thank you for waking me. God, hold my heart today. God, help me move at the right pace. And if you can't say much, even this works. Help. That prayer counts. Then choose one intention. Choose one intention, not 10. 1. Today I will be gentle with myself. Today I will tell the truth kindly. Today I will not chase what steals my peace. Today I will take the next right step. And if you want, pair it with one small physical act. Open the curtains, drink water, step outside for 30 seconds, and feel the air. Because sometimes your body needs to be reminded, we're safe right now. Midday, let me return. Midday is where people get lost. It's where stress builds quietly, where you start running on fumes, where you forget you're a person and begin acting like a machine. So around lunchtime, or whenever you notice your tight pause, take one slow breath. Ask yourself, what am I carrying that isn't mine? And then hand it to God right there. God, I release what I can't control. God, I release the urge to fix everybody. God, I release this fear. You can even do it in a bathroom stall, in a car, in a hallway. Faith doesn't need a stage. And then do one kind thing for you. If you can do one kind thing for your future self, eat something real. Text a friend you trust, stand up and stretch, step outside for light. It's not indulgence, it's stewardship. Evening, let me lay it down. Evenings can be tender because that's when everything you held together all day finally asks to be felt. So here's a simple way to close your day softly. Ask 3 questions. 1. What was one good thing today, even if it was tiny? 2. What was one hard thing today? Name it honestly. No minimizing. 3. What do I need to release? A resentment, a regret, a worry, and then say, God, thank you for the good. God, help me with the hard. God, I give you what I can't hold tonight. And I love this part because it's so human. You can forgive yourself before sleep. You can say, I did what I could. I'm still learning. I'm allowed to rest, my dear. Rest is not laziness. Rest is oxygen. Rest is the body's way of saying, I trust tomorrow will come. If you struggle at night, if your thoughts get loud, try this. Put a hand on your chest and repeat one line until your body believes it. I am safe. I am held. I can let go. Or if faith is your anchor, God is here. Not as a magic spell, as a remembering. Now, there's one more piece that matters if you want to protect this ordinary peace. And I want to say it carefully. You have to guard your gates. What you let into your mind, what you let into your home, what you let into your heart. Not with fear, with wisdom. Because some voices don't deserve access to you. Some people don't know how to hold you gently. Some environments make you shrink. And you don't need to keep volunteering to be wounded. Choose spaces where your nervous system can breathe. Choose relationships where honesty doesn't get punished. Choose content that lifts you instead of draining you. And if you don't have enough of that yet, it doesn't mean you're doomed. It just means you're in a season of building. God is a builder too. He can bring the right people into your life without you chasing. He can restore your ability to trust without you forcing it. He can create a home inside you that feels calm again. Okay, one last part, a soft closing. A future that isn't a promise, but a gentle vision. Let's finish this together. Hope, courage, purpose, and a soft benediction. All right, we're here. And I don't want to rush the ending because endings matter. They're not just conclusions, they're landings. So let me speak to you like I'm sitting across from you. Low light, quiet room, no pressure, just honesty. If you've been listening this far, I think it means something. It means you're not numb. It means you still want life to feel meaningful, tender, safe. Even if you've been disappointed, even if you've been let down by people who should have protected your heart, even if your hope feels tired, and I want to say this gently, tired hope is still hope. A candle doesn't have to be a bonfire to be real. Sometimes hope is just a small flame that refuses to go out, and I think God notices that. He notices the woman who keeps going quietly, who gets up again, who loves again carefully, who believes again slowly, not because she's naive, because she's brave. Now, I want to talk about beginning again, because I know some of you are standing in that strange place where the old chapter is over and the new chapter hasn't started yet. That in between can feel lonely, like the world is moving and you're standing still. But listen, the in-between is not empty. It's a room where God does some of his most intimate work. This is where he returns you to yourself, where he strengthens your discernment, where he teaches your heart what safe feels like again. So if you're there right now, waiting, rebuilding, unsure, you're not behind. You're being prepared. And if you need a simple way to move forward without overwhelming yourself, here it is. Choose the next right step. Not the staircase, just one step. One step, one honest conversation, one boundary kept, one appointment made, one walk taken, one corner of your home made peaceful, one prayer whispered. Small steps aren't small to God. They're how a life is rebuilt without breaking you. And I want to say something about identity because that's where a lot of suffering hides. So many women have been taught quietly over decades that their value is tied to being useful, being agreeable, being needed. But you are not an audition. You are not a role. You are not too late. You are a soul, a whole person. And if faith lives in you, then you already know the truest name you carry. Beloved, not beloved if you perform. Not beloved if you stay young. Not beloved if you never struggle. Just beloved. And from that place, purpose becomes softer. Purpose isn't always a big mission. Sometimes it's love in motion. Purpose can look like calling a friend who's lonely. Finally, treating your own body with kindness. Forgiving yourself for surviving. Forgiving yourself for surviving the only way you knew how. Choosing peace over proving a point. Letting God heal what you kept hidden. That's purpose. And the world might never clap for it, but heaven, I think heaven calls that holy. Now, can I offer you a gentle future vision? Not a promise, not a fantasy, just a picture? I see you waking up with a little more ease. Not because everything is solved, but because you're not carrying everything alone anymore. I see you choosing relationships that don't drain you. I see you saying no without guilt. I see you laughing again, real laughter from the belly, surprised that it came back. I see you praying like you're talking to someone who actually loves you. I see your heart softening without becoming unprotected. That kind of life, it's possible. Not overnight, but step by step. And if you stumble, if you have a day where you fall back into old fear, you don't start over from zero. You start over from experience, from wisdom, from grace. So, let's end the way we started, with presence, with one breath. Take it now. In slow, out, softer. And if you want, you can whisper this. God, thank you for keeping me. God, lead me gently. God, help me live now. Okay, thanks for letting me talk to you like this. I hope your day or your night feels a little gentler after this. And if nobody has told you lately, you're not too old, you're not too late, you're not too much, you're just human, and you're still here. I'm here too, quietly and willingly.